Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today you join us in the basement of BMW and Mini Park Lane, where we have come to test the brand new Mini Electric. And we've also brought our own Mini Cooper S down so I could get a good comparison of what the normal engine car is like compared to the Mini Electric. So let's get straight into looking at the differences on the car. So our car is a 2016 Cooper S, and this is a brand new Cooper S Mini Electric. So they have changed the styling on the car. So you can see on our car, the Cooper S bumper is actually pretty aggressive, and on the Mini Electric, it's more like the normal Cooper front bumper, and they've blanked this front part off, which I assume is for aerodynamics. It still retains the hood scoop on here, which is not functional even on the petrol engine car, but I guess it's there just to keep the Mini identity. So immediately from outside, it kind of looks the same. This particular Mini also has the funky new wheels, and the reason why it's done like that is because it represents a UK plug socket to denote that the fact that the car, this is electric, and you can also plug it into your normal mains, which does take a lot longer to charge, but if you have no other option, that is a possibility for you. So from the outside, it does look like a normal Mini, apart from the small cues with the E on the front, on the side here, on what is now the charging flap, not the petrol flap, and also the back of the car. They've also made the S on the Cooper S yellow, like neon yellow green, to show that it's the electric version. On the back of the car, it looks very clean. There's no exhaust here, as you would expect. So the interesting thing about the Mini is, before we go out and drive it and compare it, what's it like inside? The Mini itself doesn't have a lot of storage, so now they have no engine. Do you think there's more space inside? Now they have no exhaust, is there more space in the boot? So let's take a quick look. And guess what? It's locked. So the Mini boot's not the best in terms of size anyway, and this is basically the same size. The only addition it has is this bit at the bottom, which holds the charging equipment. And at the front of the car, we were very intrigued to see what was in the engine bay, and we will show you. You'd expect it to be empty, right? I was hoping for some extra storage, but no, look, there's a massive engine cover, and if we take that off, you'll see lots of wires and batteries. So I'll just take it off so you can take a quick look. So if you're wondering where they're storing the batteries and the motors, they're all there. So that's a quick look at the design. Let's jump in the car, drive it, and then compare it against the normal Cooper S. This one is not the one we're going to be driving. This one is the launch color, and it's the one that everyone is used to seeing, but they've actually given us a green one to show that the fact that it is actually available in different colors. Bear in mind, we are in central London, so I'm not sure how this test drive is going to go on the camera, but I have been driving the car around for around 3 hours, so I do have an idea of what it's like. First of all, it looks like a normal Mini in here, apart from the new part of the dash, which we've already covered, which will also be in the GP. Has a normal looking key. The different starts when you start the car, so it's got all kind of sci-fi noises it makes when you switch the car on, switch it off. So kind of sounds like a spaceship. This guy is going to crash into me in a minute. No, he's obviously using his sensors quite well. So let's back up here. Okay. So if you've been following the channel, you know I do really love our F56. It's a fun car. The interior is really high quality for a mini hatch, and this is no different. Feels more or less exactly the same. It's got different driving modes as well. So it's got Green Plus, which I guess is even more economical than Green, and you've got Mid, and you've also got Sport. So as well as changing the throttle response on the car, what that does is, on Sport, it actually weights the steering wheel up just like it does on the normal petrol engine Cooper S. It's very smooth. When you put the car into sport mode, the throttle feels more like a petrol engined car. In the E mode, there's a lot of travel before you start getting some power. It's very torquey, so when you accelerate, which I can probably show you in a second, it's actually pretty quick. So it's rated at around 182 horsepower, which is the same as the petrol Cooper S, which is what our car started off life as. So it's got plenty of power, and because it's electric, it's got maximum torque from naught. So as a inner city sort of car for nipping around, it's really good. So yeah, but it feels just like a normal car. It's the i3. When you look at it, it's an electric car, but it looks futuristic. But with the Mini, I think the whole point of this car is that it looks like a normal car. It looks like a Mini, but it is electric. So if it makes sense for you not to have a petrol engine car, you want to make that jump to electric, you can do so and not feel that different driving the car. The one thing I do find eerie in electric cars is the lack of engine noise. I guess that's something you'd have to get used to, but they have engineered in some of those kind of futuristic engine sounds, so it sounds very much like a sci-fi film, which I don't mind because I'm a sci-fi kind of guy. At least they're not pretending that it's got an engine and it's making engine noises, because that would just be a bit crass. But in terms of the way the car drives, it just really does feel like a normal car, apart from the noise, as I've mentioned. Steering still feels really sharp and go-karty. I'm not sure where the extra weight of this car is distributed, but it feels pretty normal. So if you're wondering why we're actually in the city and not on a country lane that we normally are, I think some of the reviews have already been done in the open countryside, and this car I think really is going to be an urban car, so we thought we'd shoot it in London, but we didn't account for the amount of traffic that there is here during the day. It would have been better to shoot it at night, but it has given us a good idea of how the car drives and handles. And I'm really surprised at the ride of the car as well. It feels better damped than our Cooper S did in standard format. Now I don't know whether that's specific to the electric Mini or whether they've actually changed it on the new Cooper S as well. I haven't driven one of those to compare, but it's definitely quick. It'd be interesting to time one against the Cooper S and standard one and see what the difference is. So range is obviously very important on an electric car. W2LP is 124 to 144 miles on a full charge, and the EPA is 100. So what we've found is that the EPA rating is normally a bit more realistic. So that's probably more of an indication of what you would get out of the car. So if you're commuting and you're probably doing less than 35-40 miles in each way, you could probably do that trip without getting too much range anxiety. Or if the car is a second-hand car that sits at home that your missus might use, or use it around town, then it makes complete sense as well. But hey, I'm not trying to sell you an electric car here. I don't own one myself, but I do see in certain circumstances where it would make sense. If you've got a shortish commute, or it's a second car that sits at home and just does short runs to the shop, or you live in an urban environment like London, an electric car does make complete sense. And if you were put off by the looks of, example, the i3, the Mini just does look like a normal car. This particular one doesn't have the funky looking wheels, so you can spec these normal wheels. So people would be hard pressed to find out that it's electric without knowing a little bit more about the car. So we've been driving this around London, and it's got all the Mini electric stickers, and people have been coming up to us and asking us about the car because they didn't know that Mini were now making an electric car. So I do believe that this will be a good selling car for Mini. It's just as much fun as a normal car, but just doesn't have an engine. So if that suits you, I don't see why you wouldn't go for it. I'm going to head back to the Mini Park Lane now, give the car back, and pick our Cooper S up. But to summarize, the car does look exactly like a normal Mini, it drives like a normal Mini, and if you're doing the kind of journeys where the electric engine is not going to be a hindrance to you in terms of range, I don't see why you wouldn't go for it. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them for you.